Hello and welcome to Square Raindrop. I'm Jo Wheeler.
And I'm Steph Golter.
And Steffi, the only thing we can say at the moment is rain, 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 rain.
Well,
so much rain.
We're getting the worst of the weather out of the way at the beginning of the week this week, and that's a good thing. Let's get it out and done, and then we can enjoy less rain.
Have you looked at the end of the week at all?
Well, I don't count Friday or Saturday as the week.
Okay. You just choose your own weekend, do you?
Absolutely. When you've got kids, you can do what you want.
Well, yours behave so badly at the weekend. You have to pick your weekend somewhere else, don't you?
How dare you? They were a little bit naughty. So, yes, Milo was going to get some trousers in a shop in Southampton, and then he moaned so much. They went back on the shelf and he was not having anything. And then there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth. But then we went out for dinner to TFI Fridays, or is it TGI Fridays? I always get them the wrong way round between that old TV programme.
TGI Fridays, I think. The alternative is unthinkable for small children.
Well, anyway, they don't care what it's called, do they? Milo said it was the best meal he's ever had, which I took offence to because I've cooked him every other one.
They do like TGI Fridays, it has to be said. Just one small question. Monday morning, did he turn up to school in his boxer shorts?
No, why?
Or wear his trousers?
Oh, I see. No, it wasn't school uniform he was after. He's got that. That's all good. Although he does have a hole in the knee today. I noticed as I put them on. I went, when did that appear? He went, oh, don't know, Mummy. Well, you'll have to wear them. I'll buy you a new pair. No, this was social trousers. Social trousers.
I said that about my daughter's school shoes once. She'd been complaining for a while that they were kind of, got holes in and that kind of things. And I didn't believe her really till she put them on the kitchen table, sole side up. Well, I say sole. It was more like a cheese, with all those holes in. They were quite the worst shoes I'd ever seen. And I said, well, you should have said something sooner. And she goes, I've been telling you for 6 weeks. Yes, but I have a lot to think about. Must admit, small child story, and also combined with the rain, because I was looking after my grandson last Thursday. And my daughter was having the floor done in the kitchen, which meant that me and a baby ended up with just the hallway to play in. So I taught him to climb the stairs. I don't think that's gone down too well, to be perfectly honest. I think they're quite banking. It would take him a while to get around to that. But then I thought, well, I shall take him out. We'll take a walk to Tesco's, which we did. And the rain came down. I brought this child in. And honestly, it was like I was bringing the ark with me. It was quite extraordinary. But the main thrust of this is he's allowed a few minutes of TV each day. And this usually involves Miss Rachel. Are you familiar with Miss Rachel?
I have never heard of Miss Rachel. Is it going to be as good as these bouncing, dancing vegetables that you told me about before that just sounded horrific?
Well, it's better or worse than that, depending on which way you look at it. I mean, apparently, kids love Miss Rachel. She's like crack cocaine to kids. As soon as she's on, they're like this. But it's American. She goes, hello. And then she goes, can you go, oh, oh.
The dog food came out. Good job. Open. Open.
Oh, I was thinking, yes, I could probably make you make some noises you haven't thought of yet. But anyway, that's just me. Like I say, the kids love it. But then, because they've got a small cast, and there's one on there that my grandson doesn't like, and literally howled. Now, I would say that my daughter should have been a scientist because she practiced this. She had him watch this section of program again, and he did the same thing 3 times. So scientifically, I think we've proven he doesn't like her.
Does he howl just like a dog, like trying to sing along, or is it howling out of is he crying? Is he
no, crying, proper crying, distressed?
And your daughter still decided to try this out 3 times?
Well, yes, but you're a scientist, Steffi. You have to run experiments several times to know whether you're right or not.
Yes, but I think if they're howling out of depression, then I might abort.
He's supposed to like Miss Rachel anyway. So that was the rain last week. I can vouch for the fact in York it was absolutely tipping it down. And the unfortunate thing there was the fact that the rain only was in York. It wasn't in Lincolnshire. So if I'd stayed at home, I'd have stayed dry. And now look where the rain is. It's over Lincolnshire at the moment.
Yes, I did wake up this morning, check the radar and thought, oh, that's Jo's house.
Yeah, and it's set to keep raining until Wednesday, I think. It's not often you can say that we've got rain in the forecast for like 24, 36, coming up 48 hours. But there you go. But you're promising better weather on Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, it depends where you are, really, Joe, because if you're in Scotland, Northern Ireland, or Ireland, actually, the next couple of days look pretty good. Cold at night because of the clear skies, but loads of sunshine during the day. But then it switches round. So if you're in Ireland, Northern Ireland, or Scotland, it's nice for the next couple of days. And then Thursday, Friday, all goes downhill, more cloud, bit more rain around. Whereas if you're in like England and Wales, starts off the week really quite shabby and then gradually improves later on. And it's Thursday, Friday where we get the better weather. So it's all change, switch and swap.
Well, I think that's fair's fair for the UK and Ireland. However, America's taken a bit of a battering.
Oh gosh, yes, it's not been good over there at all. I mean, yeah, Helen did not do very good things at all. So first of all, I mean, it slammed into Florida and they knew there was going to be a massive storm surge and there was lots of preparation going on there. But then it went over to the Appalachian Mountains. And what it did there was quite incredible. The amount of rain just caused so much destruction. And a lot of the houses there have wooden frames. So they just broke off or floated away. I mean, it was terrible destruction.
And actually, it was a bit of a double tap because meanwhile, across Mexico, we had Hurricane John moving in.
Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to be quite an active year for hurricanes, and so far it has been quite quiet. That's in part due to the dust coming off the Sahara Desert. But that seems to have cleared because we've suddenly got all of these storms that are poking up at the moment. So we've had Helene, we saw John, they caused a load of flooding. And now we've also got another couple as well. So we've got Isaac.
I know where Isaac is. Isaac's sitting out in the Atlantic. But it's not going to make landfall on America.
No, that one's heading over towards sort of the UK, gets swallowed up in other things. Then we've got Joyce. Joyce is a fish storm. It's not really going to do anything.
A what? A what?
A fish storm. So it's not going to affect people, only fish.
Okay. And are the fish really that bothered if they've got a hurricane?
That's the whole point. And then there's Kirk, who's just appeared. So he was a tropical depression.
He's just been beamed down from the Starship Enterprise.
He has indeed. There he is in the middle of the Atlantic going, what happened here? So he's now heading towards the west. You know, we'll have to wait and see exactly where he goes. But yeah, so there's suddenly this whole sprouting of storms that have just sprung up.
There isn't even that much longer to go on the hurricane season, is it? June until the end of October?
End of November, I believe. So there's there's a little bit longer, but we were expecting this to be really quite an active year because of El Nino, and then it just hasn't been. But now, just at the end, you know, they've all really flared up, which goes to prove, you know, you only need one really bad one for it to be remembered as a bad hurricane season. And you know, unfortunately, we've just seen two.
Well, it does seem, looking back at, say, last week, that all the social media was absolutely full of all these flooding pictures. Certainly through parts of Europe, there was some shocking flooding. We had the bad floods here, including, well, wasn't there a tornado somewhere?
Yes, we were waiting for our Lincolnshire reporter to hop onto it and take us some pictures, but unfortunately she was where, Joe?
The Lincolnshire reporter was just arriving back from York and sadly was heading towards a kettle and a cup of tea instead of looking at the skies, at which point she might have seen it.
Oh, well, next time, hey, next time. So, you know, how many next times do you want, Joe?
I don't know, I miss the Northern Lights as well. But Dunstable, was it Dunstable or Luton? I think there was the flooding in Dunstable and a tornado for Luton.
Yes, you are correct. Dunstable had terrible flooding, really bad. It took a lot of people by surprise as well. Exactly how much was to do with the very heavy rain, which no one is arguing was extremely heavy, but how much was that and how much was it lack of drain clearage and that kind of thing? I couldn't say.
That does seem to be a bit of a problem in this country. Now, as I've said, I like the crystal ball gazing. You don't so much. And looking ahead for like the next 2 weeks, it seems we go through this pattern, rinse and repeat, of like some wet and windy weather, then a couple of days of calm, then wet and windy weather. But you know something, isn't that what we just call autumn?
Yes, I remember our Our weather teacher, as I fondly remember him, he used to say autumn is one weather system coming through every 3 days. That's what you expect.
Oh, well, that's pretty much spot on then.
Yes.
Textbook this year. Yeah, for learning about weather. This is a textbook autumn. Yeah, take note. Meanwhile, we have had a fair few questions for the podcast, which we haven't quite got round to addressing yet. But if you've got a question, let us know and we will address it. Frankly, because of all the rain, we have both been really quite taxed, haven't we?
Well, that and the fact that school decided that we'd start term, and then before anybody had really got going, we'd have a few inset days. So that's not really helped either.
Oh, oddly enough, it hasn't affected me so much. As it didn't affect my holiday in Greece, which was very nice. Did I tell you about it?
Did I tell you about the Canary Islands? Oh, when I got there. Let's not mention passports.
No, definitely not passports, nor the fact that you appear to be scratching a bit.
No?
I think you are. Anyway, if you'd like to contact us for a personalised forecast or a weather question,
Please do.
But don't ask why Steffi's itching.
Not itching. So, if you would like a forecast, then we are weather@squareraindrop.com, or you can find us on Twitter at @squareraindrop, because Square Raindrop didn't fit, or you can find us on Instagram. We're at Square Raindrop there, because Square Raindrop is allowed on Instagram.
Baffled already, and the next time you see us, Steffi's cat will be just fine.